Hello everyone, this week we are in Parashat Mikkets, and Parashat Mikkets is usually coming together with the holiday of Hanukkah. So what this parasha is about? The simple story is that after 2 years that passed from the end of last parasha, the last parasha we finished with, we have this like Bereshit, Genesis, soap opera of Abraham's family, and last week parasha we finished with that Joseph is in jail, and over there in jail he becomes the guy who's responsible for the jail, and over there he meets two people, the wine steward, Pharaoh's wine steward, and Pharaoh's baker. Both gets up in the morning and they have a dream. Joseph interpreted their dream, and the way he interprets the dreams, that's the way it follows up, which means one of them is getting back to his office, the other one is beheaded 3 days later. Exactly as what Joseph said. 2 years later. Now Pharaoh has his famous dreams. The dream about the 7 fat cows that are swallowed up by 7 sick-looking thin cows, and the 7 ears of wheat, big ones, that are being swallowed up by 7 very thin ears of wheat. So the story leads that nobody can interpret his dream, and then the wise steward remembers. 2 years later, Joseph, he tells Pharaoh, there's a guy in jail, he can interpret your dream. Within moments, Joseph has been rushed out from jail, and from a Hebrew slave in an Egyptian jail, within a few minutes he becomes the most powerful man of Egypt, the biggest empire in the world of that time. What a story, what an amazing story. However, this story is to teach us about these moments in our lives that everything looks like it's dire, bleak, hopeless, and within a split second everything can change. But what has to be done that everything will change? What Joseph had to do in jail as a slave in order to create that happening? Nothing happens by coincidence. So the source for that, for the answer for that question, the secret of that great success of Joseph is in the name of the parasha. The name is Mikkets. Now, if we translate literally, simply, what it says in the parasha, it says, and after 2 years, Pharaoh dreams about the Nile. He's standing on the Nile and he sees 7 fat big cows come out of the Nile. After them, so and so on, the other cows are coming, swallowing these cows. Of course it is a dream. However, why, when you come to the Hebrew original text, it says, Vayhi Mikkets, is that the name of the parasha? Now, to understand what does it mean, the word Mikkets is not a word that is usually used for describing such a sentence. It doesn't say, and after 2 years, it says Mikkets Shnatayim. And Mikkets means when something comes to its end in a very final way, which means when somebody found his end, which means death, then you use the word Mikkets. Which means the word Mikkets is an abrupt, final demise of someone, of something. This is what the word Ketz is about. Why using this word over here just to say simply that 2 years later. 2 years later, like in every soap opera, you have this message appearing on the screen. 2 years later. That's what it means. Why using the word Mikkets, which means in the demise and end and finish of the 2 years? Just a time passed by. No, it's not. In order to understand that, we need, of course, the Zohar. And the Zohar says as follows: Vahi Mikkets Rabbi Chia opened and said. He's quoting from the book of Proverbs, chapter 9, that says, Mikkets sam lechoshech. You put an end, a demise, to what? To darkness. How do you destroy and bring darkness to its demise? By bringing light. And how do you do that? So here the Zohar continues. Mikkets sam lechoshech, bringing an end and a demise to the darkness. This is the end of the left column. The end of the left. What does it mean left? So, if we understand the whole readings of Genesis, the book of Genesis, what we read from the beginning in the last few weeks, there is a deep meaning to it. We learn that the person is a master to his destiny. We learn to take responsibility. We learn that taking responsibility means taking the vows and being there, which means the values that you believe in, you have to commit for them. And that's what the word commitment, a covenant, Brit, is about. And then we learn that in that covenant, you have to keep the balance between the three major columns. What are the three major columns? We learned about Abraham, that he symbolizes the part of sharing in every human being. Isaac is a symbol of receiving, and Jacob is the one who brings to balance. Joseph is a manifestation of Jacob, central column. And what is central column? It's the ability to realize, to focus on that part of our consciousness, of our personality, which is called left column, which means I want, I need, I desire, I must, I have to get. All of these, which basically, this is the description of the modern human being. It's all about what do you want and desire right now. Go and get it. You should get it. You should get it. You deserve to get it. Just think positive. Think positive about whom? About yourself. If we understand the Zohar, this is not positive. This is darkness. When we look at what's going on around to humanity, to the Western civilization, it's coming to its demise. Why? Because we were trained in the last few decades just to be focusing on what is called left column. Desire, desire, desire. Consume, consume, consume. Take, take, take. Just be busy with what do you want and how can you give yourself more pleasure and less what about the other person? What about the values of the past, of considering, being sensitive, being helpful, reaching out to other people? No, everybody's cocooning in his own apartment, in his own cubicle, emotionally and physically. And that's left column. Left column by itself, it's illegal in the cosmic world, in the spiritual world. In the upper world it is illegal. Why? Because every time we are focusing on that left column, on that I desire, I want, I deserve, I need, I must have for myself, in that moment I'm disconnected from the endless light. And I create darkness in my life. You want to put an end, bring the darkness to its demise, you have to focus on the right column. Sharing, caring, compassion, love. Without that, we are simply coming to a demise. A civilization that is based on selfishness is its own demise. It doesn't need any enemies from outside. It will bring its demise from within. Now, how do we learn to really get out of ourselves? Look at Joseph. He's in jail. He didn't do anything to get there. But still, he's trying to get out of himself. How did he notice that the two other people in jail, the wine steward and the baker, Pharaoh's baker, they are in distress because he was not busy with himself. Still, he needed to go 2 more years to learn how really to get out of himself. When a person is standing in front of us, that's an opportunity for us to reaching out, for caring, for compassion, because that is how we put an end to the darkness, for ourselves privately, individually, and for our civilization. These values are not dead. We killed them as a society, and we didn't kill these values, we killed ourselves. Now we need a miracle, and the miracle is to get out of where we've been till now and make a 180 degrees turn and start thinking about other people. Start thinking that we don't need to eat up and consume the whole world. We can live with little consumption and with a lot of sharing and caring with our time and our resources. That is the miracle of Hanukkah that we have to learn. This is the small light of Hanukkah. What do you need in order to celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah? Just a candle. How much is a candle? All the big parties around, you don't need in order to connect to the light of Hanukkah. Because really, we need very little to be happy. But we need to give much more than we take in order to make that happen. When we focus on the right column, and then we start to use the left column, I need in order to share. This is the secret for the demise of darkness. Otherwise, we create our own demise. The miracle of Hanukkah is within each one of us. We just have to wake it up. We connect to it and have a great week and a great holiday of Hanukkah. Best wishes. Thank you.